It's called Cannonball, and Irena says it's a celebration of that moment when you meet someone and it knocks you for six. Irena Mancini, and that is Cannonball. So we have Taylor Swift. 1989 is the vinyl revival. So I just want to hear from you if you're a massive Taylor Swift fan. If you love that record, all your memories, please. Hi to Frida. I'm from East Sussex and I'm 13. We were listening on the radio and loved to hear. We're very happy to hear that you've picked 1989. The album means so much to me. We bought the CD of it when I was 4 and loved it, and that's how I became a Swiftie. First ever writing to you, feel right that it's for Taylor. And Meg in Cardiff, my friends and I feel like we've grown up with Taylor Swift. She burst onto the scene with Love Story when we were teenagers, and we've loved her ever since. 1989 came out in 2014, just as I went to uni, and she was the soundtrack to our Freshers with her red lipstick look, and that influenced, and also Miss Americana style. We've loved her then, and we love her now. So we'll do that in the next half hour on the show. Also, I just wanted to mention Kirsty, who's having a birthday. She's very much in the birthday tribe. This is from Jacob and the kids, Isaac and Isabel. The day has been spent dealing with weeds on the allotment, which is always a classic birthday treat. Yeah, I've been tackling the ground elders today myself. And also our weekly games night. We've been playing Takenoko, is it? Takenoko? And then we'll be having a fondue after. So happy birthday, Kirsty, from us on the show, as well as Jacob and your kids. We have on the way some really great music, including something from Ellie Dixon. But right now it's Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker, and 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 8 o'clock. This is Claire Ronacres. NHS England says more than 196,000 patient appointments were postponed during the 4-day strike by junior doctors last week. The National Medical Director, Professor Sir Stephen Powis, said staff now had an immense amount of work to catch up on. Our health correspondent Jim Reid says the true impact on patients could be even bigger.
They think, the NHS, that this figure, 196,000, could be an underestimate because this only accounts for operations and procedures that were cancelled. It doesn't include the number that were not scheduled because hospitals knew the strike was coming up. So obviously hospitals take proactive action beforehand and make sure they don't book people in for strike days. So actually the impact on patients could be greater than that.
The Unite Union, which represents ambulance staff and some hospital workers, has warned there's likely to be strikes in some areas of the health service in England at the same time as nurses strike. There's been widespread condemnation of the jailing of Vladimir Kara-Murza, one of President Putin's most prominent critics. The United States says Mr. Kara-Murza has been punished for speaking out against Russian aggression in Ukraine. The UN Human Rights Chief demanded his immediate release. In an audio message, the jailed opposition politician Alexei Navalny criticised the ruling.
I was deeply outraged by the sentence delivered against him today. He got 25 years. I consider it to be unlawful, shameless and simply fascist. I think that he's being persecuted for political reasons. I want to express my support for him and his family.
The United Nations envoy in Sudan says at least 185 people are now known to have been killed in a battle for power between rival branches of the armed forces. The UN mission in the country has again appealed for a humanitarian pause so people can escape the fighting. The head of the UN, Antonio Guterres, said civilians were bearing the brunt of the violence.
The humanitarian situation in Sudan was already precarious and is now catastrophic. I condemn the deaths and injuries to civilians and humanitarian workers and the targeting and looting of premises. I remind all parties of the need to respect international law, including ensuring the safety and security of all United Nations and associated personnel and humanitarian aid workers.
Prosecutors want the trial of a man accused of murdering the policewoman Sharon Beshenivsky in Bradford nearly 20 years ago held closer to West Yorkshire. The 74-year-old Piran Khan, who was extradited from Pakistan last week, has appeared at the Old Bailey in London. Prosecutors say they're concerned that location would make it harder for the police to produce witnesses and evidence. The first launch of the most powerful rocket ever built has been postponed due to a technical issue. It will now take a minimum of 48 hours before Elon Musk's team at SpaceX can try to launch the Starship craft again. The weather, a mixture of cloud and clear spells in many areas tonight, with some mist moving into eastern areas from the North Sea. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 8.
This is Joe Wiley.
Joe Wiley.
BBC Radio 2.